we go. And hello, everybody. On this day, July 13th, 2024, there was an event that devastated a lot of people about some of the good and bad stuff that happened that day. A bullet grazed Donald J. Trump, hitting just his ear. Now, we're going to talk about that in the later part of the show. It's just going to be nerd sports. We're doing sports, but afterwards, we like to talk about stuff, and that's going to be one of the things that we're going to talk about. Now, the victim's GoFundMe page is in the description in this video. Go ahead if you want to go to the page, put $10, put $5, doesn't really matter. But if you want to feel a little bit better about yourself and do something like that, go do it. If you don't, hey, this is a free show we're doing for sports and nerd stuff. And thank you all and enjoy the show.
Do I have my microphone? Yay, we're unmuted.
Yeah,
okay.
There we go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, angry faithful of all ages, all sizes, all gender dysphoric denominations. I don't know. This is Nerd Sports episode 169.
Which Max almost screwed me on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Max. Normally, it's David that has the
It
problem.
is me.
Math. But for whatever reason, and let me just say this, Max. For a split second in history, you were a shining disservice to your Jewish heritage
by not knowing the date or the time.
Counting.
That could be a part of it too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blame anybody but me.
Right. The abacus was broke. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep. Sundials malfunctioning.
You used an uncalibrated torque wrench to torque the beads down and make sure that they were secure. That's what we're gonna go with.
We gotta go for the weird sport of the week.
Oh yeah, that's right. I completely forgot I was going to jump in, but yeah, weird sport. Go for it.
This is the weird sport. It's called Bushkashki.
Oh, I thought this said talking. I'm sorry.
And what they do is this is an Afghanistan little game, and they get a goat carcass. I don't know if it's full of.
Oh, they played this in Rambo 3.
Yeah, but it's basically they put it in. Oh God! Oh damn! You see that? Let's go back with that one. I want to see that again. Boom!
Yeah. So if you've noticed, okay, our super fan is here this week. She is. She has a little bit of camera anxiety, so you're gonna have to just kind of. What?
I'm trying to get it to hook up.
Well, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Wait, you can see her, but we can't.
Oh, the
no, like it's not going through my earbuds.
Oh.
Has anybody noticed the obvious, or should I be the first one to address the elephant in the room, so to speak?
Besides the fact that you've got an Oklahoma State jersey up there, you've got. What is that? Eli, that's Peyton
arguably Manning, one of the greatest running backs of all time.
Elway, Manning, Sanders.
And I'm going to say two names. I'm going to say Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders. Everybody always forgets that Thurman went to OSU. Yeah.
But I mean, really.
For what Thurman was like the original. For what Thurman, I hate the Bills, but I love Thurman Thomas.
But it's OSU, so I mean, really, does it count?
No.
I mean, does Oklahoma really have a whole lot going for it? I mean,
Troy Aikman,
something to be.
Blake Shelton. That's about it right now.
Yeah.
What about?
I don't even like to say the name of that.
Like I'm in Kansas City and I got an Elway and a Manning jersey.
Okay.
So
I mean, I've got I mean, I've got a Tim
These are
Tebow
people that-
Jacksonville jersey hanging up in my closet. So what?
Most
Well,
of
these
us
guys
do.
always, completely beat the shit out of us in most games, if not every
Hey,
game.
game
we
represent.
played against
Game
them.
recognizes game. I get it. But hey, you do you. So, but yeah, we've got Belle in studio, so she'll be able to actually like comment in real time, which is kind of nice.
No lag. Woo.
Right? Yeah.
Yay.
No,
Oh,
exactly.
well, we're not fully finished with the show yet, so don't put that there. Don't give us that kind
I'm
of.
not on my end, at least.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
Murphy's law of combat dictates that your weapon was made by the lowest bidder, and I am bringing Chris in. Howdy ho, neighbor!
Yay, Chris!
The beautiful bearded bastard, the eye candy, you sexy bitch. How's it going today?
Yeah, another day in paradise.
Right. So the All-Star game is this week, and there's absolutely no mystery as to how much I love the game of baseball, but I don't know if it's just because of local events, trying to recover from the storm and everything like that. I don't care about the All-Star game this year.
There's really nothing. There's really no reason to care.
I'm not excited about it at all.
It doesn't. What is that with that one chick that always tells you how to clean out your closets and shit? It doesn't spark joy.
Yeah. Oh Lord. The home run derby is going on right now.
What is the home run derby? Is it basically you're hitting home runs?
Basically, it's glorified batting practice. You've got 10 minutes to, per round to hit as many home runs as possible. And then for home runs that are measured over 450 feet, if you get 2 of them during your turn, you get a bonus 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And they keep changing the rules. Sometimes it's a cumulative amount. Other times it's your once you advance to like the final or whatever, your totals reset to 0 kind of a situation. Just the one thing that I'm glad about is that Chris Berman finally retired from ESPN. Or at least the baseball side of ESPN, so we don't have to listen to the back. I'm dude.
I'd rather listen to that than that A's announcer, though.
Right? God,
she is the worst.
Have you been watching like the fake announcers for baseball?
No. We're not talking about fake announcers. All right, like this is you notice I've got like the humidity hair going on. It's fucking glorious. It's my my Cosmo Kramer, homage this week. But
I'm still pissed off that you have hair.
Well, whatever. Did I do that right?
I think you did actually. Did good
time.
But
wonderfully.
Right. But I completely forgot what the fuck I was going to say just now.
I think that you were going with the thing that you were talking about.
It was a topic. It was a thing.
You are immensely helpful, Max. Absolutely.
You were going to put some words together.
That's why I'm here, guys. I'm just.
You were talking about announcers.
Oh, yes, because David was going on. You see the thing with the fake announcers? Well, if you go back and you watch any of the video playback and listen to the TV announcers for the A's, for the Oakland team, dude, she was so far out of her element. And it's not a misogynistic,
I'm not saying she's out of her element because she's a woman. I'm saying that that specific person sucks.
If you know, you know. But Donnie was more in his element than this chick ever will be.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, Walter Socek is not going to tell Donnie to shut the fuck up just because there is a woman out there who's trying to announce professional baseball as a live play-by-play announcer.
I'm still not convinced she's ever actually.
But you know who would do something like that? Billy Bob Thornton, Bad Santa, 1 or 2, especially during lunchtime. Ooh, we don't want to mess with him.
She's not going to shit right for a month.
At least. At least. That's a minimum. Nobody saw the disclaimer. I did.
Yeah, I mean, but as far as I mean, everybody. Oh, please do tell David, our illustrious producer, do what you do best and interrupt me. Say what you got to say there, guy. Go for it.
Oh no, let's look at the.
Wait, we're talking about
anywhere other than
shitting right for a month.
Right now, if you're like, oh, something happened in the NFL, we're not talking about the NFL right now. We're talking
Okay,
about.
just keep on going. Just keep on going.
Okay,
just keep on going.
I mean,
but
are we doing a reset? Are we doing a reset? Are we pushing like a bad
no, go
thing?
ahead.
Or?
Go ahead, Johnny. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot my mic.
May the next Asian masseuse that tries to give you a happy ending have calluses on her hands.
Oh,
it's not as bad as you think.
That's rude.
It's more of their hands.
It really is.
Okay, but that seems like something David would be into.
Oh,
he would just think of it as an exfoliant.
Oh, and he muted her. No, you can't do that.
No, she
No, I'm
muted
muting myself because I'm sitting outside.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, boy.
God.
It's nice to meet you, Belle.
David. All I'm going to say is Dr. Scholl's bunion remover. There you go.
A little moleskin.
Extra strength.
Extra strength.
But, you know, having the All-Star game this year at Globe Life Field, I'm just not. You know, there's arguments for and against Globe Life. You know, I mean, it's basically a glorified Minute Maid Temu knockoff, right? You got obstructed view seating. You've got artificial turf. It's like it's a retractable roof stadium. Come on, you can't grow natural grass? Seriously? You're going to raise the tax rates on property around in the city of Arlington, specifically around that specific, district in Arlington, and you're not even going to give them the common courtesy of a reach around by growing natural grass on the field?
Nope.
Come on, man. You were growing natural grass out there on the now Choctaw Stadium across the street, which was 100 times better ballpark than the current Globe Life Field is. And it was so hot. You couldn't go to games in the middle of the summer. Who cares? It was Texas. It's summertime in Texas. If you don't understand that it'll hit triple digits, don't fucking come. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
she said.
I mean, you could be like Chris and I when we went to the NASCAR race last year. It was hotter than shit.
Dude, it was miserably hot.
Miserable. What did Chris and I do? We did not care. We looked like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. We had that green towel that they gave away, dunking it in ice water in our cooler and just, putting it on up underneath our heads. Yeah. Was it the orange or was it green? I think mine was green. Is that it?
This is the one I used.
Oh, okay. Now, David Damnass nearly died. So, I mean, we get it. He had to go.
No, it wasn't David nearly died. It was David was still on nights and hadn't got it adjusted.
David was out of his element. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. I still say that he almost died.
Yes. I mean, it
looked like he was about 6
in our humble, uneducated medical opinion, you nearly died. Okay.
Yes. My untrained eye told me that you were on the way out.
Yeah. So, I mean, But once the sun went back down behind the Turn 1 suites, that was fucking great. It's great.
Dude, it actually was great. Yeah, once the sun, we actually got some shade down there. I'm telling you that the blast of air coming from them coming into the Turn 1 there was refreshing at that point. It
was great. It was good stuff.
The only thing that kept us alive there is we had all that air coming.
As they say, everything is cooler when the sun goes down.
Yeah, well, see, it didn't help the fact that I had been day drinking for most of the day.
And I did that we did get up like at 3. I got us up like at 3 o'clock in the morning.
It was like
David wakes us up, Max. He wakes us up in the hotel 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. He's like, I'm hungry. You guys want to go to Waffle House? We're like, seriously? Whatever.
Well, if you weren't awake, I wouldn't have said anything. Go and just head on to the fucking Waffle House.
We weren't awake. You woke us up.
Did you guys go to Waffle House?
Yeah, we fucking
David has all of the grace. He has all of the grace of a drunk cat.
So right? Kind of like Tiger Woods here.
David and the word stealth do not mix, right? I mean, when he tries to tiptoe, so put it into perspective, Max. You know those containers, those plastic containers that cake comes in from the grocery store? And you feel like getting up in the middle of the night, you know, and you're like, oh, I'm going to grab me a small piece of that cake. And you try to open that. There's no quiet way to open that plastic. They can hear you in the next county.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's David.
Fact.
Yeah. And it's the fact. No, let me finish, David.
That's David, if you put it on the floor.
For the majority of his adult life, David has not had to exercise stealth to keep from waking a significant other. Right?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
You know, and it's not a slight against you, David, at all. You are a lovely human being.
But if we hadn't got up there really early, we wouldn't have seen that extra show.
Getting there early was my idea because I was still under the impression that trackside activities were going to kick off way sooner than they did. So don't take credit for that. I mean, I will give you this, though. You did walk up there with your fanny pack and peek in the window.
And like he was about as stealthy there as an M1 tank, too, because there was he just flat out.
I was like
flat footed, stomped up to the damn thing and just kind of.
Dude,
The only thing missing that made that strut logical was clogs.
Yeah.
Yes. And I can guarantee you I could have wore clogs and I could be like hitting tambourines and that motherfucker would still not notice me.
I mean, put it this way, man.
He was distracted.
Something that I know that you're going to understand. If David was trying to leave the Kung Fu temple, he would have shredded every piece of rice paper that they ever had.
He wouldn't be opening a single door. He would just walk right through.
Not the broccoli.
No, because the instructor, you know, his sensei, right? The monk is like, when you walk on the rice paper without tearing it, you may leave. He would never leave.
I would probably trip, fall.
They would exile him like the Tibetan monks did to Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
So, that's still controversial. I'm not exactly quite over that yet. So if we can avoid bringing that specific topic up,
was it the cliffhanger scene with the raccoon up in the?
Here we go.
That was a pretty horrible scene.
It was the Slinky.
You know what?
It wasn't.
I just talked about that this week.
What?
That was
the whole cliffhanger thing with the raccoon with one of my coworkers. It's a long weekend.
Yeah.
Is this like the story that I have about Vegas that you guys don't know about?
No, Ace Ventura when nature calls.
Right now. No. It was about nature calling, all right. Nature did call in Vegas during a bachelor party at 4 a.m. after being out drinking all night. And when nature called, nature happened to clog the toilet in the suite we were in. So Nature's friend had to call the front desk, and I'm expecting, somebody that's going to be up there to tend to it that isn't, any different than I am, just, a guy, blue collar. I get up there, open the door. The most beautiful woman I've ever seen is going to unclog this toilet full of feces. And she did it like a champ. It was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen.
That.
So in news that's not going to drive down our viewer count, Paul Skeens, the rookie National League pitcher for Pittsburgh,
it's funny that we got an extra.
He got the nod, and he is starting the All-Star game for the National League tomorrow.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's single-handedly bringing the mustache back into vogue.
What are we talking here? Magnum PI, or are we talking like
early Magnum PI?
Early Magnum PI. Okay. All
right. Not quite Tom Selleck-esque. I think he needs a couple of years in the league to do that. But yeah.
It's Tom Selleck adjacent.
Yes, yeah, okay. Tom Selleck adjacent. Thank you for bringing that back to my attention, because for whatever reason I've been on an adjacent kick for like the last week and a half. And I think I'm secretly driving my wife nuts with it, but it's okay because she loves me. She said yes. She's got no choice. She has to be here.
She's contractually obligated
now. My law, God's law.
Now she's looking at you like, why? Okay. Why did you?
You guys can't even hear me. My mic's muted, so.
No, it's
not. Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I could be a complete pain in the ass right now. I've got Belle. She's actually in studio. She's just off camera, and we've got Empress, which is Belle's friend, who flew down here with her, sitting directly across from me. But you know what? I'm not going to do that.
If Belle or Empress
decides
to throw things at Johnny as we're talking, I'm not going to be offended or upset.
Well, I will, because you see this backdrop? It's full of shit that is breakable and more valuable than you, David.
Have good aim.
No, I value my life.
Confetti? Confetti? No, nobody said that.
Anyhow, NFL news: Jacoby Jones played for the Ravens in Super Bowl. What was it? 37.
Yeah.
Yeah. He died on Sunday.
Yeah. Man, there's a lot of deaths this weekend.
Hey, that's what the jab will get to. Just kind of saying.
Shelly,
I didn't catch that.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're gonna get flagged now because I said something about the jab.
No, I think you're talking about the like a jab or a hook or an uppercut. You know what I'm saying? Like boxing terms.
No. There's key words. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you the key words.
What are they, David?
Are you laughing at my?
Yeah, you know what?
No.
David needs to try to resurrect his stand-up career for one night, and he needs to pay homage to George Carlin's 7 dirty words.
Oh,
just the 7 buzzwords of YouTube. Yeah. That'd be so
Shelley Duvall died. Shannon Doherty.
Yeah.
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dr. Ruth.
There's another Dr. Ruth. There we go.
For
the gentleman that was a hero on Saturday. And Mr. I don't want to mispronounce his name.
Yes.
Yeah. There's actually a tribute video for him that's on one of the channels. It's my channel. If anybody ever wants to watch it, I made a tribute video for him.
Well, that wasn't a aggressive slap in the face right there. You guys ever want to watch channel. It's right there.
Well, I was talking to you guys and like anybody else who wants to. It's not like I've got this giant audience and trying to plug myself. No, I'm just saying if anybody wants like information.
Look, never use the words giant and plug yourself in the same sentence ever again, Max.
Giant plug.
No.
Yeah, that's a good planning, Max. You know, never do that again.
Never.
I don't.
It will not happen.
I don't even want you to repeat it. It's like, oh, these are the words that I'm not supposed to say. No, we'll just cut.
I mean, normally that's reserved for David when he utters things like, "I eat the Snicker bars upside down, so I feel the veiny bumps on my tongue." Don't do that.
It feels good.
It's not hurting anybody else, and I don't think it's against the law.
When I rub it on the top part of my mouth.
We are moving on. Good night. Jeez.
Well, don't open that door, man.
Just because the door is open doesn't mean you got to rush through there and be like Richard Simmons. Hey, we're gonna sweat to the oldies, people.
There's also a tribute video to Richard Simmons.
Yeah. Bell nailed it on the head. Yeah, David's gonna rush through that door. The door is gonna be closed, but he's gonna breach the wall and enter like a boss. He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah." That's what he's doing.
He enters ass first, though. That's the problem.
Right. Just let this be fun for me.
You haven't been using those.
I know. I'm like, you know what? I've been neglecting these poor things and just,
Negative visualization, Jerry. Explains a lot about where you're at.
Exactly. Let me see here. Oh, the Commanders are hiring the ex-Panthers GM Scott Fritter. I'm just going to say Fritter because the dude looks like he's had one too many apple fritters as a personal executive. So it's not necessarily a front office job, but I'm like, okay. And NFL Plus is talking about a mini movie about how Deion Sanders embodied primetime. Look, since Deion Sanders has gone all Hollywood on us at Colorado State, promised the moon and underdeveloped with a losing season, and then now his son is getting clowned leading up to the NFL draft. I don't really care about what Deion Sanders might be still. Like, dude, put the cowboy hat away and just do your job and coach. If you can't handle it at the NCAA Division I level, maybe go find you a nice Division III school and just kind of dominate there, or do what Jason Witten did and go coach a high school team. But unlike Jason Witten, you will never see a championship held up as a coach. Jason Witten did it in his second year. So I don't know, maybe Mike dropped that one. I don't know. I mean, Deion just needs to go away, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even Matthew McConaughey, he just does the cheerleading stuff for Texas. So,
yeah, I don't see Matthew McConaughey cheering Texas football a whole lot this season. Just kind of putting that out.
Yeah.
Hey, Texas, meet the SEC and the gauntlet of a schedule that you're gonna see. You're gonna get your little powder puff games. Like
this is gonna be a rough year.
Oh
yeah, yeah. Mark Callaway is probably gonna be upset.
I mean, Texas is gonna roll into LSU, play them in Death Valley, and they're gonna be lucky if Bebo doesn't actually get his horns sawed off.
Yeah.
So the only thing I'm excited about Texas coming into the SEC about is that we're going to get the Southwestern Classic game back with Texas and Texas A&M,
right?
Yeah,
so I mean, Texas A&M's been making a lot of athletic news, waves in the athletic world here the last month and a half, or about
only because the coaches went over to the baseball team.
Right, but they've gotten back all of their players out of the transfer portal. They've got their entire coaching staff is in place, and they have flipped 2 players from the Texas program and brought them over to A&M.
Ooh.
And they nabbed a top prospect player from Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
So A&M is going to be a pretty good ball team for a very long time. Caden Montgomery, the star center fielder for the Aggies this past season, he got picked number 12 overall by the Boston Red Sox in the first round yesterday.
Really?
Yep, he got drafted. So he put on that beautiful, beautiful jersey, and he was still on his knee scooter because of his ankle. But yeah, he was there in the green room, and he was there live yesterday. So I was pretty happy. And you know what's funny is the fact that Red Sox Nation, for the most part, we're a toxic bunch, right? It doesn't matter if you sign Jesus Christ to a 3-year deal, paying him, the biggest contract in history. Somebody's going to find a way to complain about it. Well, when they drafted Caden Montgomery yesterday, everybody was excited about that pick. Everybody was excited about that. There was not a single negative comment in that chat board.
Now, when does he start playing? Is it going to be for the?
What's going to end up happening is he's going to sign his deal.
Yeah,
he's going to get a signing bonus, and then once he's healed, he's going to go through a rehab program, and then he's going to start. He will more than likely get an non-roster invite to spring training, and he'll have to start either in high A or double A, depending on his performance in spring training this coming February.
So they had to get it, because I know the trade for in August, which I don't know, is like half.
Well, the trade deadline is different than the draft, okay? Because the draft takes place during the off season. So
that's where I'm confused. If he's already
unlike
drafted,
the NFL, unlike the other right, but unlike the other drafts, right, for the other major leagues, for the other professional leagues, if you get drafted in the first round for the NFL, you're going to start. Right, you just no way around it. You're going to start in the NFL.
Right.
Okay. With Major League Baseball, I mean, you've got to put in your dues. You've got to make your way through the minor leagues. And depending on your performance in the minor leagues and the needs of the big league club, you can get promoted a lot faster, some sooner than others. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even Bryce Harper played like 2 or 3. I think he played 2 years in the minor leagues before the Washington Nationals brought him up. So it's, you're just going to have to pay your dues, because what they want you to do, because while the college game is exciting to watch, they play with aluminum bats versus the wooden bats in the major, in the professional ranks, from high A or low A ball all the way up to the majors. The game is a little bit faster, right? I mean, you're seeing filthier pitches, you're seeing a wider range of velocities coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's kind of a different game once you get to that level. So they're wanting them to kind of get acclimated with it before they bring them up. And even once they get to the big league club, there's still that adjustment period. You're going to get those storybook debuts where, your first major league hit is like a home run, kind of a deal. Those, while they're reported on often, they don't happen as often as you think they do.
Oh no.
So
now on those,
that's why they're reported the way they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, why do they? Okay, here's another question, and I found this out this week, was why is it when it's when a rookie hits their first home run, the entire bullpen just ignores it? What brought it along that
silent treatment, the dugout? That's just a hazing thing. I mean,
okay.
Even Bartolo Colon, who had been in the league, I mean, Big Sexy, he had been in the league for fucking years, right? He didn't hit his first major league home run until he was playing for the Mets, and he did it in San Diego, right, in Petco Park. When he touched home plate and went back to the dugout, I mean, the dugout was empty because the entire team went into the tunnel.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's like extreme.
Yeah,
that's silent treatment on steroids.
As far as like firsts, like pitchers, when they get their first major league strikeout, that ball goes into the dugout. It's authenticated with a hologram. It's cataloged and it's given to that player at the end of the game. If a player gets their first base hit, whether it be a single, double, or triple, it's usually thrown back in, and same thing. They get that first hit ball. I've only seen maybe on a couple of occasions when a player gets their first major league home run. In some cases, when their first big league hit is a home run, fans will do the right thing for the game and they'll throw the ball back in. Case in point, I think it was year before last. There was a player for the Reds. He was making his major league debut, and his first big league hit was a home run that snuck over the right field fence. Some Reds fans actually caught the ball, and they were yelling at Mookie Betts, who was playing right field for the Dodgers at the time during that game. They were like, "Hey, this is his first big league hit. Get it back to him." And they got Mookie's attention. And he was like, "Hey, if you throw me that ball, I'll give you one of my bats," right? And they were like, "You don't have to do that, but yeah, here you go." So they threw the ball in, and they got to hit his first big league hit back. And then true to Mookie's word, he went and got one of his bats. He signed it real quick, and he handed it to the fan in the stands.
That's fantastic.
So I mean, stuff like that is cool. I mean, when you see like people catching foul balls or home runs in the stands, and then they find a small kid to hand it to like immediately afterwards.
Oh, I love that shit.
Yeah, I mean, dude, to me, as much as I would love to say, "Hey, I'm going to be that guy," I don't know if it's a home run. If it's a home run,
that's hard.
A player that I like. I don't know, man.
You're gonna be standing right next to this little kid that's just looking at you with puppy dog eyes and he's going, "Go fuck yourself."
You know what? No,
let you do it.
Right,
Dave, you're up.
You're like, "Dave, I need your voice." "Hey kid, go fuck yourself."
Right? Yeah, it's like, it's that like that one improv video, like you see it's on TikTok or whatever, like the white dude, he owes this black guy money, and instead of saying the N-word himself, he's got the token black guy.
He's like, "What are you talking about?" He points to him.
Right. So apparently College Football 25 from EA Sports came out today. Yeah, there is a lot of newer generation players getting their asses handed to them by their dads.
Oh, today. I don't imagine.
I mean, it's seeing some of the videos, like Justin Danger Nunley kicked his kid's ass in college football, and his kid's like, "Let's play Fortnite," and he's like, "Hell no, I get my ass beat in Fortnite." Right? You're
gonna whip my ass. Why would I do that?
It's like we were, and I talked about this before, but it's like we're sitting in the living room here at the house, and I'm like, my oldest stepson Jake, he was talking about 007 being on Switch Online, and I was like,
"Let's fire up GoldenEye. Let's find
Let's do this. All right, I'm about to fuck you guys up, right?" Dude, he rage quitted on me. He rage quit. Like he straight up backed out of the match, and I'm like, "Really? Come on, man, one more round." And so he played one more round, and dude, he killed me like twice, and I hit the score limit of 25. After the round was over, after the match was over, he put his Switch into sleep mode, and he just walked away. He's like, "I don't want to play anymore." And I'm like, "Bro."
He basically
like taking your ball and going home.
He basically like, "Hey, I'm just gonna go to bed real quick, and good game and everything." Just rolls in the clip.
Right. And so it's not like Tetris 99, right? Where it's like multiplayer Tetris, and like you clear certain lines and you throw like junk pieces at the other players.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there trying to play this with the boys, and I'm trying to play it with one of those Switch Joy-Cons, and dude, I'm like dog water, right? I'm sitting there just getting my ass kicked. I'm like, wait a minute. I've got retro Nintendo, like original NES Joy-Cons, right? To play the NES games on Switch Online. I was like, let me go get that. So I went into my room and got one of those retro NES Joy-Cons. Dude, I came out of nowhere. It was like raw.
It's like your muscle memory there.
Yeah, it's like my muscle memory is like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, just the only thing you can't do is hit the up button on the directional pad because it slams the piece. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, A, B, and I'm spinning the pieces you know, different directions. I'm like, oh, it's all coming back to me now.
Muscle memory is a real thing. That's for sure.
It is, man. You know, just like unlike the original NES controllers, like you can't throw the, you know, the retro Joy-Con. You can't do it. Yeah. But
you know what's really funny though is you don't have a turbo button anymore.
No, but I have my NES Advantage still.
Yeah.
You know, the joystick with the big fucking button on it. It plugs in. It's got a 2-player plug on there, and it has turbo buttons on it.
Oh, there you go.
And then you can adjust the turbo speed. And I loved this thing because back in the day, before people started putting battery packs in in the NES cartridges so we could have things like save files. You remember the game? It came out, it was from I cannot remember the name.
Konami.
Master Blaster. It was called Master Blaster.
Master Blaster.
Right? Yeah, Blaster Master. That sounds like, you know, like a subreddit.
It's the kind of keyword that I look up every once in a while.
Oh, that's an NFW, you know, type. That's a not safe for work subreddit right there.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
One of those you watch.
Why am I not surprised that David said it looks like something he would, you know, have in his search history?
Have in it.
And
entire search history.
No, it's probably a like favorited tab, realistically.
Right.
I mean, it's right up there with, like, if you go to his Reddit profile, it looks like, you know, it shows you like subreddits that you're active in. Like him would be probably Blaster Master, Scat, and I don't know, Cuckold.
Oh, most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely. Top three.
It'd be the
David is like, no, Bell does not get to come back into the studio.
No, it's perfectly fine. Hold on real quick. I gotta go do something. I gotta
shut up, Meg.
David, just mute the mic and try.
I gotta go do this thing real quick.
Right,
I gotta
mic first. We don't need to hear that.
Right.
Where the hell is Dave? Did Dave leave?
I can't do that.
No, he's right there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come.
Oh, no. Oh, shit. Dave's insane. That's okay, though.
So while I'm waiting on Colin to get down here, today I bought opening day tickets for a Deadpool Wolverine.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be so nice. Ugh.
Has anybody had a chance to watch? Oh, sorry, Johnny.
Hurricane Barrel kind of threw a kibosh on my Close Encounters of the Third Kind 2024, you know, event screening.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, like, we weren't even here for it because we didn't have power, but you know, like, even if we had been here, the theater was closed because the theater didn't have any power. And so we're in Terrell trying to you know, I'm trying to find a theater. You're gonna have to take a knee, bud, because I'm trying to find a theater so we can at least go see it in Terrell. And I'm like, I don't want to drive halfway across the Metroplex just to go watch this. So thanks a lot, Mother Nature. Stupid hurricane.
I still like how the only way y'all were able to see what places in Houston had power is looking up the Whataburger
app. Yeah, absolutely.
That was fantastic,
dude. That was some redneck engineering right there. That was ingenuity.
I'm telling you,
because good Lord knows that we couldn't rely on Centerpoint's fucking restoration map. Holy crap!
You saw that
power back for 2 days, and I went just for shits and grins. Looked up the repair map. My neighborhood was still lit up in blue, which meant an assessment had been made and repairs are commencing. Like you were supposed to get updated like 3 times a day. I'm just like,
you need to tell them to recognize.
You saw that that interview he did right in front of the thermostat that was set to
70
Oh
degrees.
Yeah, that was
It was
classic.
70 degrees, Chris.
I still say that the the reporter, they did that shit on purpose.
Well, the
set him up
CEO
for
of Centerpoint Energy last year made $37 million.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, okay, make 6 figures. Fine. I'm not going to begrudge you for that. But take the rest of your salary, either pay your employees or upgrade your grid.
Yeah.
Not that hard. And then I find it interesting too that the Department of Energy rejected a Houston proposal to upgrade the energy grid before hurricane season.
Regular season
Yeah,
game.
What? David, what are you doing?
That's not me this time.
Max.
This is Max here, live with Angry Meat Productions, featuring our host Johnny Skelton. Back at you.
Back to you.
I like how he nonchalantly did that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to toss it back to him.
That was great.
Just next time, don't toss anything to me because David's going to get jealous because he's going to assume that salad's going to be the next thing that get tossed.
You know, every person, every extra host that I've gone on this show, I'm jealous of that. They get radiated to Johnny, and I'm pissed off about that.
Everything broke up and it sounded weird. It sounded like the other host gets thrown to Johnny, and then the hard R. Is that misunderstood?
No. Is that what I heard?
No.
Brian, spit on me.
Yeah. No.
The R. Kelly treatment. Nobody wants that either.
Yeah, but he's not,
Bless you.
9.
I'll just pop it back in.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's like a suppository.
Good news for everybody. Here we are, rising from the smoke and haze of desolation. It's much too foggy. But it's a Ronin.
You want to stand up?
Bent on wrongdoing.
Or sit in the seat.
That which has been said right.
Well, they can see.
But here, for your ears and your eyes, even to feast upon, I mean, it's somebody's genetic code. But ladies, gentlemen, angry faithful, all ages, it's that time again for Joke Time with Colin.
There you go. What was Helen Keller's favorite childhood game? Musical chairs.
Have you looked at analytics to see how our blind and deaf audience is receiving all of the comedy hour?
Very strongly.
Until we start streaming in Braille, I don't think it really matters.
Touche, my friend. And that is the facts.
I'll just run the subtitle.
Because every Monday night from 7:30 until whenever the fuck we land this plane, it's a very quiet place in their house.
Not tonight. Not during Joke Time with Colin. And I got to say this, and I've been waiting for, if this is episode 169, according to what Dave says, and my math is probably wrong. He's right. Your voice, Johnny. It's a combination of Christopher Walken and Denzel mixed together. It's beautiful.
You have suddenly taken something that was very pure, very awesome, and you've turned it into a Temu version of 50 Shades. Which, by the way, and we'll get back to your jokes in just a second. I can confidently say I read the Christian Grey version of the story, right? Because once she released 50 Shades Darker, right? Like she wrote the story from Christian's side of the story. Anastasia Steele is a whiny bitch. I'm just kind of putting that out. Just saying. All right, go ahead, Colin. The floor is yours.
How did Helen Keller burn her hands? She was trying to read the waffle iron.
2 words, closed captioned. Yeah, that means something to him. I worked with a guy. He was deaf as shit. Couldn't hear nothing. He was a real deaf guy. Worked at a restaurant, fast food. This is a long time ago. Had to communicate with him by tapping the motherfucker in a good way, not like like tapping him.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Prison terms.
He's a gay factory worker from the South.
He'll take.
But he would communicate in grunts and shit like a caveman. It was beautiful.
So he was an early 80s version of Tim Allen.
Yeah, better though, because he was, I don't know, like, I mean, he was obviously special, but he was also funny without really ever saying anything.
Are you tearing up right now, Max?
It just brings back memories.
Okay.
He was the best employee.
So can we get back on track, Max, with trying to make our advocation our vocation? Can we do that?
Hey, there's this little mic thing that has a slash through it. It says mute. Go ahead and do that for the rest of the show, man.
Not a peep out of me. I apologize. PTI, part of the.
You know what? I just realized I can do this myself. Hold on.
Max is going to he's going to write it out and he's going to put it up to the camera. He's going to do his best Charlton Heston impression. He's going to be like, "Let my voice go."
Just like a deaf person.
Oh.
You got him.
It's joke time.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to do this one, and then it comes with a visual.
Okay.
The caption on it, it looks like a Snapchat video or photo, right? The caption on it is, "You better count your fucking days," like Helen Keller at an orgy. You don't know who you're fucking with, right?
if you're hold on, pull that back up real quick. It since we have audience members that are just listen to us. There's a fat kid that has extra chromosomes.
When he says kid, he means a person of age, though.
I don't know if he's down with the sickness, bro. Come on.
He's an adult.
He's got a couple extra.
Yeah, he's an adult. He's not like
he's fully down.
He got a couple extra pounds and chromosomes. Okay.
I mean, dude, you don't know if it might be 23 in him. I don't know.
Like it wasn't enough to
be like
all the way on, but he did definitely get a chub out of it.
No, technically going low. What if you're short a chromosome? You got like Down syndrome and some other stuff. If you're
you have extra chromosomes. You'll have Down syndrome.
No, you can have extra and you can have less. And then there's conditions that are medically termed. I'm not a doctor.
Okay, so
you guys consider love.
Last week, Chris, our beautiful bearded bastard, grounded Colin.
Oh shit, that's right, I did.
Via
yeah.
You're right, I did.
And it was kind of glorious, right? Because I'm downstairs working on new merchandise, right? And I've got concept proofs for some new T-shirts. We're gonna put on our social media pages later this week, actually. So as our listening audience and our viewing audience, we need you to get interactive because you can directly affect the next release of T-shirt. Just kind of saying. Okay. Now, I'm sitting there working on t-shirt ideas and trying to put these concepts together. Colin just kind of taps me on the shoulder and he's like, is it me or like does this give off like heavy Chris vibes? Right. And I'm like, what? So he hit play and this dude sounded like Chris. He didn't have as glorious of a beard, but the beard I was giving credit for, right? Okay. I mean, he looked like this beard. How can I describe this beard? This beard looked like a cross between Gimli and Dumbledore.
Yeah, it was not really managed.
You know, I mean, it had a white streak down the chin, and that's probably because there was too many bowls of soup spilled down that chin, right?
Or gravy.
It may be gravy. Maybe the dude's just a professional pussy eater, and you know, she just kind of drooled all over his chin and it bleached it white. You never know.
Are you trying to say it's like the Dumbledore meets Santa Claus and they fuck?
No, because Dumbledore and Santa Claus both have white beards. But hey, I appreciate you actively participating in the conversation, Max.
I'm here to try to bring things together.
So this dude goes through this whole like little speech and moves the camera down to his gooch, right? He's wearing underwear, and then proceeds to crack off the wettest. Oh, bless your beautiful soul. Hold on just a second here. I don't have it. Okay, well, I can fix that. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna do that. You know what? Let me see here.
You need me to send it to you? I already did. Remember?
Oh, that's right. You did. You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right. That's right. He did. Okay. So I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna present. I'm gonna take over the screen for just a second here. Nope. Share screen. Window. There we go. All right. All right. And oh, yeah. You know what? Screw it. Here we go. YouTube. Hey, we're gonna do
the fart is for Brian. This unclean beast of a corpse.
Hold on a minute. No, I need to share this video. I'll go back to it. God, Lord, this is why I'm not the producer. So shut up. Window. There we go. And share that. And then Chrome's now being difficult, but I'm just going to play the sound on it. So we're just going to do that. I know how it works, Colin. Good God, dude.
While he's working that out.
Shut up, David.
This fart is for Brian. This unclean beast of a cornbread cheek clapper has been brewing for you. The creme de la creme of all butt puffs. And it's extra special just for you.
So spicy.
You some of a Limp Biscuit. Hope you like this pootsie powder puff of an anal pastry, you filthy fart box. Here you go. Hopefully that made your day.
I'm like beside myself.
I don't think they heard it.
You guys didn't hear that?
Oh, yeah, we heard it.
Okay. Yeah. Like
somebody shit their pants.
It's gonna itch when it dries.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a box of dude wipes right there. We're talking the XXLs, right?
That just reminds me of when I was staying at my grandmother's house in Fort Worth area. that felt like a violation.
Oh, it was a violation.
That was. Are you done with your segment? Oh, okay. And just like that, he's gone without regard or care for your moral well-being. You, unfortunately, have been witness to yet another traumatic episode of this guy's genetic code assaulting your soul without consent. It's so violent. I just don't know what to do. But, ladies, gentlemen, again, angry faithful of all ages, this was joke time with Colin. I've got to cut that down because, I mean, it's just too long.
Don't you even.
It's too much pause onto it.
Didn't even last that long.
That's what the Moyle said.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, good night, Colin.
Night, Colin.
Chris.
Hey.
Somebody caught that.
So, NASCAR news.
Whew.
The race was in Pocono, Pennsylvania. Yes, there was a second event in Pennsylvania this weekend. Ryan Blaney took home the win on this one. So, yeah, awesome.
Something else happened in Pennsylvania?
Something else happened in Pennsylvania. Next week is the Brickyard 400 presented by PPG. It's going to be taking place at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yes, you heard that correctly. It is not the road race at the Indianapolis Motor Park. It is the Brickyard 400. They are racing on the big track.
Nice.
Abso-fucking-lutely. It is going to be on NBC. It's going to be on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway television network or radio network. It's also going to be on Sirius XM channel, NASCAR Channel 90, or your Sirius XM app. Pretty sure you're going to catch that on Peacock, at least some part of it. But that race starts Sunday, July 21st at 1:30 Central Time. So be on the lookout for that. I'm actually going to try to catch that race just because it's Indianapolis. I mean, I loved it. I used to love it when the Cup Series went to Indy, or I actually raced on Indy. And it was always a cool race. You know, I mean, Dale Sr. won that race. Jeff Gordon won that race. I loved seeing Tony Stewart finally win at that track. You know, so that was just cool, and seeing guys climb the catch fence and just the whole kissing of the bricks tradition. That's just hands down, like, very cool. So I'm looking forward to that race. After that, it's going to be Richmond, which I believe brings us into the last three races before the cutoff. It's going to be Richmond, Michigan, and Daytona on August 24th. That is going to be the cutoff race. So, and just happens to be a wild card because it's a restrictor plate track. So, or a super speedway at this point. So,
what do you think is going to go into the playoffs so far? I mean,
let me tell you right now. I'll tell you. Let me look at the standing. Right now, the top 16. Chase Elliott resumed the points lead. There is a 3-point difference between him and second place Kyle Larson. Tyler Reddick is in third. Denny Hamlin is fourth. William Byron moved up one position to the fifth spot. Martin Truex Jr. dropped one to number 6. Ryan Blaney, picking up his second win of the season, is holding steady in position number 7. Christopher Bell in the number 20. Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota is in the 8th position. Brad Keselowski and Alex Bowman both respectively moved up one position to the 9th and 10th spots. Ty Gibbs dropped 2 spots. Tear, sad boy, little fucking golden, silver spoon boy. It's easy to have a good race car when your granddad fucking pays all the bills, right?
Right.
Chris Buescher moved up one spot in the number 17 Ford Mustang Dark Horse for RFK Racing. He is in the 12th spot. You got Ross Chastain dropped one spot to number 13. Joey Logano in the number 22 for Penske Racing is in the 14th position. Bubba Wallace. Fucking Bubba Wallace. He's in 15th. Yeah. And then Chase Briscoe rounds out the numbers, the top 16 drivers. Daniel Suarez is in the next. He's in the first spot on the outside looking in at number 17. He is currently 272 points back from the leader. He is sitting back. I think it's going to be like 28 or 26 points outside of the top 16. The thing of it is that you've got several drivers in that top 16 who do not have wins yet this season. Chase Briscoe does not have a win. Bubba Wallace doesn't have a win. Well, no shit. Ross Chastain doesn't have a win. Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs. Most notable out of the top 16 that does not have a win yet this season is going to be Martin Truex Jr. Now, Martin Truex Jr. is far enough up into the points where I think he can afford a little bit of insulation. He just needs to maintain some consistency and score some stage points between now and the end of the Daytona race coming up in August. But all it takes is somebody, below the cutoff line to notch a win. Kyle Busch could come out of nowhere and get his first win of the season, and that will qualify him for the playoff. Ostrick Cindric is actually outside the top 16, and he's got to win. But he's, after his one win so far this year, his points performance during the races has just been a little bit lackluster. So, I mean, he even with that win, he may miss the playoffs, which it's been known to happen before.
Mm-hmm.
Noah Gragson, he dropped a spot. He's currently in 24th position, but if he picks up a win, he could catapult, and he's consistent enough as far as like, picking up top 10s, top 5s, getting stage points. Obviously, if he picks up a win, that's going to help his cause. He can potentially race his way into the playoffs. So
it's feasible.
There's still a lot up in the air. I mean, Ryan Blaney, like I said, he picked up his second win of the year this weekend, and I mean, Alex Bowman, he moved up to the 10th spot. Now, he won last week in Chicago, and he tweeted out a picture. Him, his girlfriend, and his pit crew were still up partying at 6:36 a.m. the next day.
Damn.
He made it back to North Carolina for the team meeting at Hendrick Motorsports, and then later that afternoon made an appearance on the Dale Jr. Download, still hung over.
Oh.
So, I mean, when you pick up your first win in 2 years, you're going to want to tie a couple of cases on. I'm just kind of putting that out there. I mean, I don't.
Did he put vodka in his bloodstream or something?
Damn. Nothing but whiskey and good old fashioned Kentucky bourbon was consumed that night. I mean, it was straight brown liquor, dude. That's all it was.
Brown party liquor.
Yeah, and he didn't drink any tequila. He didn't drink any beer, especially any of the imports, because and this goes back to a stand-up bit. I cannot remember who did it, but it's like if you bring tequila to the party, they're gonna hold the door open and let their buddies.
Jim Brewer.
Right? Yeah, it was Jim Brewer.
Oh, yeah, Jim Brewer.
And then the beers start mixing with each other. You get the snooty English ales, and you get the Mexican beers. Like they start bumping. And then the breaks out.
Right here, you rat bastard.
Then the bouncer's like, "All right, everybody out," and they all try to go out the back way, and he's like, "Nope, out the way you came in." But before we launch into what we had discussed at the top, or what David had discussed at the top of the show, as far as some nerd news, 2024 has done its fair share of taking celebrities from us thus far. But I swear on all that is holy, if 2024 tries to take Captain James Tiberius Kirk from us, we ride at midnight. I'm just saying, because there was an article that was released that William Shatner was diagnosed with terminal prostate cancer.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do this to us, 2024. Do not do this.
It's been bad enough already this year. We don't need that on top of it.
I mean, William Shatner himself stated he was like, I had the idea that I was invincible. Yep. I planned on living forever. I mean, this dude is running around at the age of 93.
Like going to space.
Well, it's crazy because he doesn't look.
He doesn't. He does not.
Not looked out of his 70s for like the last. Yeah,
he actually doesn't even look like he's out of his 60s.
No, there's no way you would ever convince me he's in his 90s ever.
I mean, James T. Kirk, William Shatner himself is the person. I mean, William Shatner is the personification of what James T. Kirk is to the Star Trek universe. He is Peter Pan in the captain's chair. I mean, if it holds true to canon that James T. Kirk does not believe in a no-win situation, William Shatner is going to figure this out.
Yes. Yeah,
he's going to wake up one day, and that cancer is going to be gone.
The one enemy he can't fight, though, is time.
Well, if the words "second star to the right, straight on till morning" are not on his headstone, they did that wrong.
Whatever is thrown up there will get torn down and replaced post haste.
Oh yeah. And please bury him in the monster maroon Starfleet uniform.
Oh yeah.
That is hands down.
Yellow.
I love the Picard era uniforms, but the monster maroons from Star Trek 2 all the way through 6, hands down, favorite.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of the TNG ones.
Well, I mean, the TNG ones, yes.
TNG movie ones.
Or
the ones that I like.
DS9 uniforms, even the Star Trek Nemesis uniforms, right?
Yeah.
To me, they harkened back to the original Enterprise, flight suits, right? The jumpsuits.
Right.
But to me, once they figured out that, the penguin suits from the motion picture were not going to work. And they wore those very dressy maroon coats with the white turtlenecks and the bloused pants, bro. I mean, I will definitely jam out and try to figure out a way to get me a TNG uniform. But if I wear a Starfleet uniform anywhere in public at a Comic-Con, it's going to have to be that monster maroon.
I can see that.
I'm just saying, and it's not made out of like the cheap cotton material. No, that bitch is going to have to be a wool polyester blend coat, just like it was for the studio.
I'd say that's going to be wool all the way.
Mm-hmm. The trick is figuring out a way to make that turtleneck, because the sleeves are cuffed in the same fashion.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
you don't want to have the wrong turtleneck.
Today, I'm going to undo that lapel and I'm going to wear that coat flap open, just because. I mean, call me a nerd. I don't care. Hello, we've met. 2024. I swear on all that is holy, if you take James Tiberius Kirk from us. Oh.
But it's okay for 2025.
As I said, can you imagine if it's like the day, the New Year's Day? That's how you start 2025.
Oh man, that's gonna suck.
I will never, ever, 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 ever be ready. I mean, the day that the original James T. Kirk passes away, it will hit me as hard as the day that Christopher Reeve died.
Yeah, but you had time to prepare, and you kind of had time to prepare for Captain Kirk for 92 years. I'm not saying that 92 years is enough. I want another 92 years. I want to see this 184-year-old man
Max
out there making movies still.
Dan Aykroyd. Jane, you ignorant slut.
Yeah.
I have not met Jane, but if you would like to introduce her to the audience, I think that's okay.
That was one of his best lines ever.
Yeah.
Yes, we understand that William Shatner is 93 years old, but he is out there doing more for the fan base than any other 5 Star Trek actors put together over the last.
George Takei.
Oh, yeah.
Kai.
Oh my! Yes, no, it's Takei.
It's almost as bad as when Stan Lee died.
It's pronounced Takei, and we know that because when they roasted William Shatner on Comedy Central, George Takei said, and I quote, "It's not Takai, it's Takei, as in I'm gay."
Yeah.
Well,
you know, if he was straight, nobody would even know his name.
Well, you know,
his entire fucking personality.
His stock went through the floor when he decided to jump on that liberal platform and just beat everybody into submission on Twitter.
Yeah.
Not literally beat though, right?
Yeah.
Like with both hands or just one?
Yes, both hands and a hammer.
Cool to meet
Asian people are known to have smaller hands. That's a fact.
For me, it would be cool to meet Sulu. Yeah, absolutely. Get his autograph, whatever, right? Because we've only got 3 members of the original crew left.
Right.
You know, absolutely. I want to meet the original Chekhov. Walter Koenig. Yeah, absolutely. And he's actually got a couple of new projects in the pipeline. So, he's going to be with us for a little while longer, but I don't know, man. I foresee me having to take a road trip somewhere to a comic convention just to make sure that I can get my meet and greet with William Shatner in.
You just got to make sure you're careful and gentle to him because he's a little bit older. You don't want to scare him and shit.
Shut your whore mouth.
I'm not saying another word. You can't scare William Shatner. He's like an old Chuck Norris from space and beyond.
I would venture to say that Chuck Norris had a Captain Kirk action figure growing up.
No, he was iconic. He still is iconic. There's a reason why he's still relevant at that age, and I agree with everything you said. Not kissing your ass or anything. That's not the purpose of it. But
I mean,
I watched the fucking guy growing up. I thought he was a real person until I was like,
to encapsulate how just incredibly badass Captain Kirk is. Okay, he is the only person in history. I'm talking, sir. I'm going to treat you like David. Just be quiet.
Oh.
Damn. Captain Kirk is the only person in Starfleet history to ever defeat the Kobayashi Maru. Chuck Norris hasn't done that. That tells you something.
Chuck Norris has never tried, though.
That's because Chuck Norris can't. No.
What if Chuck Norris?
I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill. I mean, Chuck Norris can come. I mean, if Chuck Norris can beat the Kobayashi Maru right now, feel free to roundhouse kick me from his house somewhere in Central Texas. I don't care. I will die on that hill. I will take that heel straight to the head. And if Chuck Norris ever gets a hold of this video clip, by God, please reach out to me. socksfan1977.js@gmail.com. Or you can get a hold of me on TikTok, socksdaddy77. Please, by all means. Or angrymeproduction@gmail.com. Go for it. I dare you. We'll have you on. We'll have a nice little debate as to whether or not you can solve the Kobayashi Maru. Please.
Play with fire, my friend.
Hey. It'll do a wonder for our viewers. I'm just kind of putting
that is true. Dude, that would be awesome.
I mean, did I name drop Chuck Norris and dare him to come on the show for clout? Maybe. I'm proud.
Listen, you do what you got to do.
Right, exactly. I mean,
hustle.
That's been David's mantra from day one.
Sometimes you got to hit that street corner.
Yeah, it's more like the street corner hits you, but I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed.
That's racist, sir. No, there will be no bigotry.
I thought we were quoting different movie lines. I thought that was my turn again.
No, I was going to launch into that gunnery sergeant, that senior gunnery sergeant Hartman line. There is no bigotry here. but I remembered all those words
Ooh,
on the list.
That was a lot of no words in that one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of no words on that one. Yeah.
Suffice it to say, here you are all equally worthless.
You're not even human fucking beings. You are nothing more than grabastic piles of amphibian shit.
And that's about as far as you can go.
Right?
No, I was okay when I did that little chuckle, and I was like, "Oh, apparently sketched the Twitch guy streamer. Apparently, he had a OnlyFans account that leaked."
Girl, okay, so to the guests in the studio, when he said sketch, knowing that we talked about scat being on his favorite subreddit list earlier, did it not sound like scat? It did. Okay, I wasn't just hearing things. All right, go proceed, David. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Carry on.
No, that was it. I was just.
Yeah, you know what?
I was wondering what the drama was and everything.
I've seen. Oh, please, don't let that go where I think it's going to go.
What do you mean?
You took one for the team and did research, didn't you?
Hey, that just means he paid for the content.
Act like it wasn't already there. He already had it bookmarked and downloaded.
I knew it for months.
Is it all right to ask a question to Belle and her cohort?
Go for it.
No.
Go ahead.
How are you ladies doing this evening?
Exhausted.
That's the question you're coming out with. That's
coming out
Well, no, that's what I like to do to kind of break the ice. How much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to break the ice. That kind of deal.
What's the average?
So that was like a friendly way to.
I don't know. I'm not Google.
Dude,
go to Google.
European
You're
or African? Come on.
European or African?
North or Southern?
African Jew like myself?
Me. Oh boy.
All right, now we get into the nitty gritty and stuff that we.
Yeah, this is the part of the show that we really.
I'm glad I already did it on Saturday, but.
Yeah. All right. So for those of you who have been living under a rock, we're going to call it what it was. And it was an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
Even though most news outlets.
Yeah. Most of the mainstream media, they're dancing all around it. Like they're dancing with different dance partners on the opposite side of the gymnasium. That's how far away they're staying away from that buzz term, right?
You see that one headline that said he was escorted off stage after he fell.
After he fell. And then CNN doubled down with the loud pop or Secret Service escorts Donald Trump off the stage after loud popping noises were heard.
Right.
And then they referred to it as an incident.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And here's
what blows me away to not call it that.
And here's what blows me away. you have. Let me preface this by saying this. We don't identify as liberal or conservative, Democrat or Republican on this show. All right. Myself, personally, I identify as a Reagan conservative. Okay. There are certain edicts that are involved with that. But it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum that you are on. The fact that we had vile human beings going on social media where the internet is forever. Somebody will inevitably screenshot that before you delete it, and it's there forever. Going on and talking about how we came an inch or two or a millimeter or two from having the best news ever, or the Democrats bought their sniper from Temu and things like that.
Tenacious D said
yeah, and I have unfollowed Tenacious D on all my social media platforms. I have trashed their CDs. I lost all respect for Tenacious D after making the comment that they made on stage. And, you know, I've got a lot of memories tied up with Tenacious D, you know, Jack Black and Kyle Gass. Musically talented? Absolutely they are. But
can you show the comment? Is that something that you got ready to go?
You know, rather
No.
And here's why, Max. Because we are not going to use that vitriol as click, you know, for clout. We're not going to breathe.
Well, no. It's not for clout. That's not what I meant. It's just, you know, there are several people of like-mindedness, whether you want to consider these two elite or wealthy or with means, whatever you want to call them, it makes no difference. There are similar individuals out there that have absolutely nothing at all that buy into whatever these people say.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? I'm the firm believer that if you breathe energy into things, you extend its lifespan, right? You lend it a sense of credibility or legitimacy. All right. By mentioning Tenacious D at all, period. And I'm not lending credence. I'm not lending an air of again, with, you know, the risk of sounding redundant, credibility to their comments, as ignorant as they were. When I state the name Tenacious D, I'm fondly referring back to, you know, their debut album and the, you know, the master, you know, the miniseries that they had on HBO way back in the day, back when it was a skit band. It was, you know, it was designed to be funny.
Right.
Okay.
And I understand what you're saying, and I'm not arguing that point at all, and I'm not arguing anything about that at all. If they said something inappropriate in regards to trying to take out an individual, whether it's
it was along the same lines of, you know, damn, they missed, you know.
Yeah.
It was in that same subsect of society. Okay. Or lack of a better term, verbal diarrhea. Okay.
So contextually, now we know what it was referencing to without having to actually say it.
So, you know, you get a lot of these ultra left leaning individuals that are in places of authority, like the firefighters, teachers, educators of different, you know, varying levels, senators' aides, things like that. The idea that the political temperature in this country has reached a point to where they're wishing death upon the opposition. Okay, it goes back to the assassination spree that this country experienced back in the 60s. Okay, you had JFK, you had RFK, you had Martin Luther King, you had Malcolm X, you know, and they were silenced because of their stance. They were silenced because of their opinions. Okay, you have certain militant groups of the left that like to refer to the MAGA crowd or people who lean towards the right as being fascists. Now you want the truest definition of the term fascism, and that is using violent means to squash the opposition and silence their opinion. And that's exactly what is taking place. Okay. When they handed down the eventually vacated felony convictions to Mr. Trump, you didn't see Republicans going out en masse and burning down their cities. You didn't see us going out and looting stores. You didn't even see us so much as you take the day off of work and stand out in the middle of a square somewhere and bitch and complain. We went to work because we have bills to pay. Okay. We're not out there. You know, we didn't go out there during Joe Biden's inauguration and sit there and scream at the sky because, you know,
our guy,
the demented man was, you know, going to hurt us. But and I understand that, especially with my daughter in studio, she has some left-leaning, ideologies, some left-leaning beliefs. And I respect that.
Mhm.
Okay. Do I agree with them? No. But I respect her as a person. And if she wants to discuss those things with me, I'm willing to enter into that debate.
Mhm.
And it's not to beat her opinion down or make her feel stupid. Okay. I cannot remember who it was. I think it was, I've heard Mark Levin say this a lot, where he said, you can be open-minded, but don't be so open-minded that your brains fall out. Right. As long as we enter into a peaceful discourse and we legitimately debate the subjects, the issues, okay, we may not win a person to over enough to where they completely come to our side or vice versa, but the idea is to meet in the middle and to have that healthy respect for the other person's opinion. And that is all based in facts. Those opinions, a lot of times opinions are derived from facts, correct? And can we agree on that, guys? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. The problem with today's generation and the way that they're being reinforced from these 1950s, 60s, and 70s radical retreads that have infiltrated academia and have basically dumbed down our country is facts don't matter. It's all about how you feel. It's all about how you think you are. It's all about how you identify. Well, that's not the way that this world has run for the course from the beginning of human history till today. Things have been established based on facts. And that's the way it's going to be until the end of time.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot ignore the facts. Okay. Feelings are taken into consideration up to a certain point. Okay. That your feelings as a person and the way that you feel about your stance, yes, are taken into consideration. And it is our job as a responsible human being to listen to you speak. We're not going to get into a shouting match and try to establish fire superiority and shout the other person down. We're going to hear your points. And then in turn, you give us that same courtesy. You hear our counterpoints. And then we enter into the debate and we try to figure out where the common ground is. We figure out where that commonality is, and we can, there should be absolutely no reason that if we had mature, responsible, and respectable debate, a discourse that, I mean, to kind of harken back a little bit from in earlier in the show when we were talking about Star Trek. Star Trek is about as close to a utopian type society, not dystopian, but a utopian, where individuals had varying, opinions about things and they had different viewpoints, but they came together for the mutual benefit of mankind. Right. And extending mankind further and further into the cosmos. Right. It was all based off of pure exploration or explorative intent. Right. There's no reason to think that if we stopped just long enough to take a breath, take a step back, realize that we're no better than the person standing across from us, even if they've killed half the brain cells in their head with the latest and vivid hair color. It doesn't matter. They're no better. We're no better than they are if we resort to the same type of tactics that they employ against us, and vice versa, because you've got your militant right people as well. Okay. You've also got your militant libertarians. You've got your militant independents, whatever, Green Party, Big Stick Party, whatever party that, what is it? The guy with that had the boot on his head that ran from New Hampshire. What party was it that he was representing? I can't remember, but
I don't know, but there's been a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean
Teddy Roosevelt's.
We've got all these different points of views, and people have just slightly different, opinions about the same subject. And instead of shouting each other down and threatening physical violence, trying to employ physical violence, trying to devastate a person's livelihood by canceling them, how about we sit down at a table and look at each other and recognize that we're both human beings and have a discussion? I mean, I know that it's a lot to ask. And I know that, combat in one form or another is always going to be a part of human history. It's just it's just how things have been done.
The biggest thing I think that we've lost in this country was the ability to disagree with somebody politically without considering them an enemy.
Yeah, very, very, very well said, Chris. I mean, and I do blame social media for a large part of that, because before up until things like Facebook, MySpace, whatever,
I think social media exacerbated it.
It did. I mean, it catapulted it to where it is now. I mean, would the natural evolution of it had taken us to where we're at now? Yeah, right. Still maybe, but we'd be years from that now. Still, it's the fact that you've got these keyboard warriors who can sit with a degree of anonymity and hide behind that screen. And it's, when I first,
it's one of those things.
When I first heard this adage back, probably like 8-9 years ago, I thought it was funny, but dude, it's so applicable today that people today don't know what it means to get punched in the mouth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally.
And I'm not trying to advocate physical violence. I'm not. Okay. Because any soldier, any warfighter worth their salt wants diplomacy to succeed, so that way we don't have to get involved. Mm-hmm. Right. I don't want it to be a situation where our kids are being exposed to a very bloody civil war on their doorstep. Because I honestly do not think that America can survive a second civil war.
No, you think the first one was bloody?
Yeah, I mean, you've got left-leaning people that are pretty proficient with firearms. You got a lot more right-leaning people that are proficient with firearms, but it's going to be bloody. There's going to be a lot of people that do not come home.
And it's going to happen in your front yard. It's going to happen right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, Johnny, though, about the right-leaning people that are like going up and saying they can go out and fight the Civil War and everything like that, it just reminds me of what Sean Ryan was talking about. The reason why he stopped doing like defensive tactic things was because he liked the idea of bringing in women that were physically sexually assaulted and everything, and bringing up their confidence. And then after he got popular, a lot of the people that wanted to go to his training courses and everything were just people that are overweight and they could hide the gun and probably keep it just by, stuffing underneath the lobes of their stomach.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what people are visualizing of the people that are in the right genre that we're trying to. It was like, oh yeah, I'll fight in the Civil War, and those types of people, they're gonna get 4 to 5 feet with the entire kit they have and pass out.
Yeah,
of exhaustion.
Chris, you remember this term, FOBIT?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. FOBIT is Max. FOBIT is somebody. FOB is FOB. It's forward operating base.
Oh yeah.
FOBIT are those affectionately referred to as the people who have every piece of the high speed gear, and it's all clean. Right. They've got pouches for things that they don't need pouches for because they don't carry it, and it's all clean. Right.
A lot of it has taken out of the wrapper.
They look Call of Duty cool, but in practicality, no, not so much. One thing that kind of stuck with me is that, you know, you get a lot of these guys that are, you know, and girls that are out there all being gung-ho. They're like, oh yeah, you know, shooting starts, blah, blah, blah. Those are going to be the first people that grab a mother load of Mother Earth. They're going to get as low to the ground as possible when the rounds start coming back at them. Right. And Chris, I know that you've heard this, but it's like when the shit starts hitting the fan, you look for the calmest, coolest dude in the room and you follow him because he's about to cut wire and start sorting things out.
Buddies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the quiet guys that you want to pay attention to, and it's the quiet guys that you want to follow because they're gonna be the safest place on the battlefield is going to be next to them.
Yep. I mean, that's literally the term, the quiet professional.
Yeah. I mean, that's where they derive that from. You know, so I mean, I don't pay a lot of heed to these social media dickheads out there that you know, they're like, oh, I got my battle rattle, blah, 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 blah. You know, I've got $2,000 tied up in optics on my fucking $300, you know, what is it? Budget pony AR platform. It's like that optic's not going to save your life if you don't know how to fucking employ the platform itself.
Yep.
Right.
Or if the platform
take the $1,500 to $2,000 that you just wasted on furniture and go sink it into some training.
First time round jams in there, he's screwed.
Yeah, you know, sports. I mean, hello, come on.
I mean,
that's the reason. You know, when I build my next AR, it's going to have a forward assist on the upper receiver specifically for that reason because muscle memory is a hell of a drug.
It is.
You know, I mean that meme is very, very consistent. It shows a picture of the forward assist and it says, "Yeah, I tapped that." Yeah.
Love
it, Johnny.
But you know, to celebrate, or we need to celebrate the fact that this man survived. Okay. Now, all that being said, that picture that was taken, that went hard as hell. Right.
Oh, yeah.
That picture is going to show up in history books. Right. But for the people that are upset because he did survive, you seriously need to do some soul searching because you have lost your humanity.
Especially for the people that didn't survive, especially one person. Corey, I'm going to butcher this, but I'm going to let Stephanie Hawking work her magic real quick.
Stephanie or Steven?
Yeah.
Comparator. Corey Comparator. That's his full name. He was a 50-year-old veteran fire chief, died while trying to protect his family during the attempted assassination. Driving into the shield hit them from bullets. Basically, what he did was he covered his body over his daughter that was there.
Two children,
yeah. And he basically shielded. Yeah, he did what a father should do.
Took a bullet meant for
that is the textbook definition of what courage should look like.
Yeah,
is you become the human shield.
Yeah, and
because he punched his ticket for immortality the day that those kids were born.
Yeah. Now saying that, there is a GoFundMe. I put it in the description of the YouTube live description. I'm not boasting on how much their goal was $1 million. They did 4 million and 4.5 million.
That's fucking bad. Okay, that's what America is supposed to be. That's what America was founded upon, is the fact that we are able to come together in our darkest moments and pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. There is a reason why we are back-to-back World War champions. Okay, because we set our feelings aside and we get shit done when it matters the most.
Oh, wow. Okay. Elon Musk donated twice, but altogether $100,000. Stephanie Wine, $50,000. Kenneth Griffin, 100,000. Heritage Fund, which Heritage Fund is a what is Heritage Fund? I forgot what that was. Anyways, American Heart for Gold, UFC 50, Dana White 50, Alex Bolden 50. You know, most of these are, I mean, just all these people. This is what celebrity they made their money. They made big bucks. Now they're giving back.
Yeah, but you notice where the majority of the silence is coming from? Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hollywood made their bed.
Oh, but it's already, yeah. Like you said, the internet lives forever.
Yeah.
So they can
especially
be quiet now and try not to try to start walking things back, but it's out there. It's already,
yeah, a lot of the not even in Hollywood. This is the swamp too in Washington D.C.
Oh yeah, the swamp.
I mean, they're going in.
You even got a majority of Wall Street that's still on that side.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's crickets. I mean, there's not even crickets. It's just dead silence. It's that one room that is so soundproof that I think the world record for being in there was what 20 minutes?
Yeah, you can hear the blood moving through your
veins.
veins.
You can hear your blood pumping through your veins.
Yeah.
But
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't know. Just the discourse and just the vitriol that has just cemented itself. I mean, the ultimate division that's in this country is it's not necessary, like at all.
No.
Okay. We can sit there, we can talk about wrapping ourselves up in the red, white, and blue. You know, we can talk about being the Patriots. You know, we can talk about being the shining city on the hill. But none of that matters. It's all talk. It's all platitudes. It's all bumper stickers. None of it matters a lick, because when the world looks at us through the prism of the mainstream media, they see the most dysfunctional family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If things continue to go the way that they are, and the temperature rises on the political division in this country, we will certainly fall divided. But we need to remember that ultimately it was united we stand.
Mm-hmm. And even back then they disagreed on a lot of
this. They did disagree. But the difference between then and now is the fact that they had respectful debate. They entered into a discourse.
Yes.
And they came to a consensus. They met in the middle. It was when and God love Ronald Reagan, the great orator, Ronaldus Magnus. He stated very clearly during an interview on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show when he was still running for governor of California. And it was actually, he was governor of California. It was just before he announced his candidacy for president of the United States.
And before he was Republican, he was a Democrat originally.
He was a Democrat. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for bringing that up, Max. He said he didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, you look at the walk away movement. That you hear that all the time. They say the same thing.
Yeah. And for those of you watching online live, if you're going to watch our playback or whatever, and if you're in attendance, whatever, do yourself a favor. Go out on YouTube or go to the Ronald Reagan Library website and watch his farewell speech from the Oval Office. Okay. He talked about how America should be the shining city on the hill, that we should be a country of small but limited government. We should trust but verify. Mm-hmm. And he specifically addressed the children of the nation. He said, if you're sitting around the dinner table and your parents are not teaching you what it means to be American, you call them on it. And we have gotten so far away from that. Because as Ronald Reagan stated while he was still governor of California, socialism will make its way into the United States lexicon under the guise of a different name, whether it be liberalism, progressivism, or statism. And he nailed it on the head back then. His words still rang true then, and they ring true today.
Yep.
Liberalism is a step away from socialism, and socialism is a springboard for communism. We do not want to live under state control. Period. And you know, that's the biggest reason why we have the Second Amendment. And that's the biggest reason why the Democrat Party wants to abolish the Second Amendment, because it was put in place to allow the citizenry of this country to stand up against tyranny. That is why we were given the right to bear arms. It wasn't so that way, you know, we could go out and oppress people. It was so we could defend ourselves in our way of life.
To not be oppressed.
Every other freedom that we have been afforded in this country has been made capable, has been given to us because of the second. And I will, you know, I will die on that hill. 100%. But that's not a call to arms. Like, you know, like I stated earlier, that type of aggression should be the last straw. When all diplomacy has failed, when that final line in the sand has been crossed, then you lock and load. You flip that selector switch from safe to semi, and you scan your sector.
Because we were given another right that a lot of people don't use that much anymore, and that's the right to vote.
Yeah, right to vote, and most importantly, if you disagree with somebody and you just vehemently cannot be in the same room with that person, and this specifically applies on social media, you can scroll away or you can walk away. You can just ignore it. Be blissfully ignorant. Just if you're going to be blissfully ignorant, don't vote. If you are going to vote, make an educated vote.
Yeah. Either whatever side of the spectrum you want to be on.
Whatever side you want to be
but do your research, because I've talked to people that they were going off on, they're on this side. And this is both right and left. They're going on this side, and I'm listening to them, and I'm like, he's right. I mean, the opposition is right on this. You should at least listen to this part. And then the other opposition would say something stupid, and I'm like, no, being part of, you know, looking in both sides and everything, if you chop the fat, so to speak, and you might have a good steak. You just take the fat off and you just let it simmer with the fat and then scrape it off. You got a good steak.
Yeah. So, I mean, Winston Churchill said that those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
And Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady, the former Prime Minister of England, was once quoted as saying, "The problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money."
Yep. That's one of the most brilliant things he's ever said.
Yeah, I mean, she was a genius. But we're not saying that you can't have your own opinion. Well, I don't care if your opinion is the same as mine, David's, Max's, Chris's. I don't care. Have your own opinion. That's the beautiful thing about this country, right?
There was one thing that, and it's kind of a weird thing to say it, but there was in the Matrix trilogy, there was one, I believe it was the second or third movie, I can't remember, but Morpheus is talking to Commander Locke, and Locke tells him, "I don't believe in what you believe. I don't believe that he's the one." And Morpheus, without skipping a beat, says, "My beliefs don't require you to." That's the great things. You have your belief. You are absolutely entitled to your beliefs 100%. Nobody else is required to believe the way that you are.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own beliefs. And again, civil discourse and discussion and everything, you know, that is great. But when you start wishing violence upon your fellow man because of something you don't agree with what he believes.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Twain said that it's better to keep your mouth closed and let people think you're a fool than to open it and remove all doubt.
Yep.
So if you're
Also
going to
known
have
as
your
Samuel
opinion,
Clemens.
if you're going to have that opinion, and you're going to stand behind that opinion, don't. I mean, do your research, but do well-founded, thorough research. Research from multiple sources. Okay, it's just like writing a research paper in school. Okay, you need to be able to hit all different facets, especially because you're trying to prove an argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to vote, make it a well-informed vote. Don't vote with your heart. Don't vote with don't vote with sound bites. Don't vote based on platitudes or bumper stickers that are out there. Okay.
Celebrity endorsements.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to bring up a lot of sore contention with people by just invoking his name. But George W. Bush said it right. Elections have consequences.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we want our country to emulate the third world shitholes that you know are trying to immigrate to this country, fine, you do it. Go right on ahead and keep voting the way that you are.
We're about
But just know
away from it.
Yeah, but just know that people that make those uninformed votes are doing it basically without any recourse, because the people that are doing the research aren't voting. You have to get out there and vote.
Mm-hmm.
You have to exercise that right.
And not just nationally.
Yeah, not just nationally, locally as well.
Importance.
Yeah, locally.
Locally, state, national. I mean, you think about the elections that we helped set up in Iraq and in Afghanistan, right? People were getting killed on their way to the polls because the Taliban didn't want the national or the locals to vote.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if they caught you with like what is it the purple fingertip?
Yeah.
They killed you. Mm-hmm. Because you participated in democracy, and that's the devil. It's a byproduct of the West, and you are now you're a blasphemer. You're an infidel, right? We can't allow ourselves to degrade to the 14th century. We can't.
No.
All right. And there's no reason for it. Okay. There is a reason why people come to this country. There's a reason why people want to come to this country legally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's because, you know,
They
like
wanna
Statue of Liberty, give me you're sick, you're poor, and you're tired. Okay. It may not be the land of milk and honey 100% of the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're not a perfect country. But the difference between us and the rest of the world is that we know that, and we strive to make ourselves better every day. I mean, if our free market principles were such a bad idea, then why is communist China practicing free market enterprise?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we have to be able to take a step back and recognize that we are flawed as human creations. That we are flawed as human beings, and if we expect to take that next step in the great human adventure, the great human evolution, we have to take a step away from our own egos long enough to realize that we're all in this together. And until we get past that, until we get past the end of our own nose, until we get out from behind the shadow of our own egos, we're gonna be doomed to repeat the same cycle. The cops are going to keep showing up at our doors on Christmas Eve night because mom and dad keep fighting and beating on each other. We can't allow that to continue. And the only way around that is for us to be able to discuss things peacefully. And if we can agree to disagree, at least at that point, no bullets have been exchanged and no punches have been thrown. And if we can demonstrate the level of maturity to allow ourselves the opportunity to not name call, great. Then we've made great inroads. We've made more of a leap towards the solution within the span of a couple of hours than we have markedly over the last 20 or 30 years. I mean, that's just the way that I see things. Now, I know that I can't speak for the other guys on our panel, you know, the other members of the show. I know that I definitely can't speak for our listeners. But that's my opinion. In my opinion, the beautiful thing about everybody's opinion is the fact that it can be changed. We just need to have that again, that discourse. And if you're making great points and they're verified, I'm not too proud to say, you know what? I was wrong about that. Let me check this thing. Let me check this other point of view out. I've been known to change my opinion about things on a number of occasions about a number of different subjects over the course of the, last few years.
Yep. I mean, that's a sign of maturity, is admitting that you're wrong.
I mean, what is it? The definition of irony is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
Yep.
And I mean, I have a comment to add to that too. And it's just boils down to, at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we need to treat our fellow man with the same respect that we want. If you want someone to hear your side of things, you need to be willing to listen to what they have to say as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we were all taught as kids, treat people how you want to be treated.
I mean, as much as some people want to refuse it, I mean, that's biblical right there. But I think that as a whole, I mean, I don't know where everybody's theological stances are, but I think as a whole, I know that my family, we pray for our country. We pray for the leadership of our country, even if we don't agree with it, because it's what we've got for right now. But I think that if you are of the inclination to, to pray for the families of the victims of Saturday's shooting, assassination attempt. The collateral damage goes far beyond the names of the people who were directly affected by those bullets. There are sons, there's fathers, there's mothers, there's daughters, there's extended family. This goes well beyond that event center in Pennsylvania. I mean, if you believe in the butterfly effect, believe in it today. But pray for those people. Pray for those families. But most of all, pray for this country, because we need it. We need it now more than we ever have in the course of our history. Even when we were fighting for our independence from King George, we need it. But on that note, guys, unless you have anything else to add, I think that's probably a good place to land the plane this week.
Yeah,
I agree.
Real quick, make sure that you check out our social media platforms. YouTube, go ahead and if you're on YouTube, click that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and click that bell notification. Anytime that we are about to go live or we get a new video that drops, you'll be notified on whatever mobile device that you happen to be on. Our TikTok page, Instagram, Facebook. Definitely check out our website, angrymeproduction.com. You'll see a quick little bio of the people on our that make up our happy little band. But yeah, definitely check it out. Give us a like. If you're on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. Anything else is just utter shit. And shame on you for giving us anything less. Just fucking spare parts, bud. But ladies and gentlemen, angry faithful all ages, I am Johnny Skelton.
I'm David Dickerman.
I am Chris Jacka.
And Belle, you
Mad
can
Max, the Russian.
And I'm Belle Skelton.
Super fan in the studio this week. Yeah, super fan. Yeah, look at her. And in the immortal words of the lesbian pirate with a lot of puss, Scissor me timbers. Arr.